Let's get it. Let's start it off on a positive note. What do we got?
You have a bus of fans driving 30 minutes from your hometown for the game on Sunday?
I do. I think I bought 30 tickets. So, my mom, she doesn't get to come out very often here. My brother, my sister, my nieces, my cousins, my friends. So I bought 30 tickets, and hopefully they all show up. But it will be nice. It'll be a chance to get close to home and see some family that I haven't seen, and I'm appreciative that they'll all come out and cheer me on. It's been a while since I've been back there, and I have a lot of memories of Giant Stadium growing up as a kid, and it'll be a cool experience to coach there and have my family there to do it. So I do appreciate you asking that question.
I asked you about the run defense last week. Obviously, you guys played superb on Monday. What did you like about that phase?
Kind of what we talked about last week. I think it came back to the detail and the strain and the fundamentals and technique. And I thought our staff had a really good plan, and I give them a lot of credit. We put a lot of work into that. We knew how explosive and how talented that offense was and the amount of points that they've been able to score. And I just think we went out and executed the plan. I thought our line strained. Gosh, they did such a good job of staying square against those big offensive linemen, tearing off blocks. Guys were in their right gaps. We had safeties running downhill. X and Evan were as physical as they've been. We had corners on the edge tackling. It was inspiring football to watch how physical and violent we were. Quay and Coop just engaging and tearing off blocks, and that's how we have to play the run. And we showed that earlier in the season, and we kind of hit a little bumpy path, and that's our expectation, that's our standard, because if we can do that against that offensive line and that running back, then our expectation is we should be able to do that every week. And it's not going to be easy, but I like the plan, I like the execution, and I'm really proud of the way those guys played it. That's a good group.
Jeff, I think it was Coop on the punch out, on the fumble. I know that's obviously the kind of thing you've been looking for, but he was able to do that right because there was somebody else there holding him up. And is that like basically the ideal teaching tape where that's how you got to do it?
Yeah, second man in. The second man in's got to go after the football. And I think it was X on the tackle. It was a third down play. They went empty, and we were supposed to get into something, bless you, that we didn't quite get into. Half of us did, half of us didn't, so the draw kind of got out. He made a good run, and X was right there, and he wrapped him up, and Coop kind of came in from the side, which is why you run to the football, because good things happen. And it was a textbook peanut punch. The elbow was above the wrist, and he had a good follow through. And then Keyshawn picked it up, and credit to their offensive linemen, because I respect the way the offensive lineman, if he didn't run to the ball the way he did, Keyshawn was gone and we score. So I wish he wasn't there on that play. I do respect the way he was running to the ball and give him credit for that. But awesome punch. I thought Coop played a really good game. Fast, physical. We pressured him a bunch. And that was a game-changing play, because that was like a 17-play drive that we kind of bled down the field, and that's what has to happen. And that's 4 takeaways in the last 4 games, so I'm hoping that continues and we start to get maybe more than 1 in a game, but we'll continue to work it and trust our process there.
On the swing pass that Barkley broke out,
yeah.
Is there such a thing as a double spy, or was the linebacker supposed to be out there with
The
him?
third down, probably the most disappointing play of the game, and I say that because, again, I really thought our guys played well, and I truly mean that, and I give them a ton of credit. It was third down. We had a pressure called, and clearly we didn't coach it good enough. We didn't execute the pressure. We got exactly what we wanted, right? And the way the slide went, we should have blitzed the backer. I'm getting into a little bit of detail. And we just mis-executed the play. And what's disappointing about that play, if we did execute and we coached it better, we got exactly what we wanted. We're off the field. That next play doesn't exist, and they don't score a touchdown.
Were both backers supposed to go?
No, not both of them. And I don't want to get any more detail than that, but needed to coach it better. But we had what we wanted, and that is a frustrating play because I don't care what the score was. I don't care that it was 10-3 or 0-0 or 3-0, whatever it was. We should have stopped him on that play. We had him on that play, and we didn't do a good enough job, and that one does eat at me because that would have saved a touchdown, and then that's a 3-point game. So we had what we wanted. It wasn't supposed to be Valentine just making the tackle by himself. We busted it. It's as easy as that, and I clearly didn't do a good enough job with that call. So you can put that one on me.
Jeff, with that said, you guys have a lot of pressure on yourselves with the way the offense has been playing to make those kind of stops. I know you're not going to throw the offense under the bus, but is it harder to play defense when you have that kind of pressure on making those stops?
Yeah, if you want to approach the game like that, but approach the game like that. It's every call, it's every yard, it's every drive, it's every third down. I mean, we have to find a way to get off the field, and you just keep playing until the game's done. And I think what's helped me, I've been a head coach, and I've been on both sides of it. I've been where I was in charge of the offense and the defense. This is a team game, and for me, this will never be about the defense versus the offense, or wow, we have to hold them to this amount of points. I mean, there's games since I've been here, Matt's put up, and the offense has put up 30-plus points, and we've won 30 to 20-something. So it's going to bounce back and forth. And when the offense isn't playing well, it's our job to pick them up, and we have to. But our mentality going into every game is the same, whether our offense scores 40 points or they're not scoring a lot of points. And I respect and appreciate that from my time being a head coach. And our players they're going to keep working and getting better. And there's no distraction, there's nothing there, and we're good to go.
Jeff, when you bring the safety down really hard, like
Yeah.
you did in this game, and I've seen other teams do it too, is that the equivalent of having an 8-man front without showing an 8-man front, or is there more to it than?
You're talking about, like, sometimes when we inserted Evan?
Yeah, and when he comes down right at the snap.
Yeah, it's just holding our shell. Sometimes we bring him inside, sometimes we bring him outside, sometimes we bring him strong, sometimes we bring him weak. But you ask the questions, are you going to pick and choose when you get an 8-man fronts? Those are all 8-man fronts, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes there's shell defense, and he's just reading it, and he's inserting it on the run based on his keys. And then sometimes we do insert him. But I thought Evan did a really good job in the game and made some really big plays in the run game, him and X.
So, Jeff, there was that play in the fourth quarter where, and I looked at it at the tape, where there's a huge hole over the right guard, and he comes in and tackles Saquon Barkley for a loss, 2 or 3 yards. Is he just reacting to the play there and taking the gamble to come in like that?
No, that was his job on that play. We'd set it up where he was inserting into that gap. Now, did I think he was going to get a TFL on the play? No, I thought it would be a good call, but he kind of saw it open up and just took a shot. But he was inserting where he was supposed to on that play, and he made a great play to react quicker than I thought that he would, and he tackled a really good back, which is something I thought our whole defense really did a nice job of. I thought we tackled well, and I thought we were really physical. The yards after contact, the way we pushed, the way the pile went backward, I mean, that's how defense is supposed to look, and that was a good example of that was a really nice play.
When Javon Bullard's been at deep safety rather than the nickel, what has he shown you in filling that specific role?
That he can do both. I mean, he's the type of guy that I'm confident playing back at safety, playing him at nickel. He can kind of do it all. He can play in the half, he can play in the middle of the field, he can insert in the run game, and he can blitz. It's just, there's times we do want to get him back there in certain situations and certain personnel groupings that we feel are better, or there's some down and distances where we're comfortable with that. So we just kind of try to rotate him in and let him, and it's also depending on how much he's been at nickel, how many reps he has. We need to get him involved in the game because he's really a player you don't want to take off the field.
Matt had said that Van Ness was out a little bit longer than they had originally thought, but if you can get him back and use that 3 edge, what was it called again? Cheetah. That was
Good memory, yeah.
No, but terrible memory.
Cheetah.
But what did you like about that when you get to move one of those edge guys inside?
We're still doing that if you watch, just with other players. For sure. I think it's more an every down thing. I think Lucas gives us a guy that could line up and play on the outside. He can kick down to a 5 technique. He can play the 3 technique. So he gives you a really versatile piece where you can get in and out of 3-4 spacing and 4-3 spacing without substituting. And I think it gives us a lot of creativity and versatility that we've missed a little bit. But hopefully, he was out there today. He did more. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do that again soon.
Jeff, you come in here and kind of make a joke about being positive and sunshine.
I wasn't joking. I want you to be positive today. Is that a Pitt shirt?
It is, yeah. It's the one that started the whole conversation
Yeah.
last year.
So I did mean that. I wasn't joking.
I know.
I want you to be positive today.
It's very
It
easy.
doesn't look like he's going to be right now, does it? But I'm ready for you.
It is easy.
He asked me about going home, and we start this off all on the right foot. My mom gets brought in the conversation, so she's probably watching right now. So she'll be all excited that I mentioned her. So hi, Mom. I'm coming home this weekend. I can't wait to see you. Oh, she watches every week, and she lets me know how I do. And sometimes she criticizes me, and sometimes she tells me I do a good job, and sometimes she criticizes you guys. So that's what my mom does.
I'll say that criticism is probably warranted. Criticizing you up there is probably, that'd be foolish.
All right, go ahead. What do we got?
Hi, Mom. So, it's very easy to be positive about your group right now, the way it's playing. A couple weeks ago, when you came in here, it didn't feel that way, right? You knew we were waiting for you with various questions. Now it's the offense that's going through that. So, just as a coach, philosophically, when things are not going the way you want them to on your side of the football, what's the key to turning things around? 'Cause that's obviously what the offense is.
Consistency and hard work. When I've come in here and I knew there were going to be hard questions, I haven't changed how I approached answering them or talking to you, or my mood doesn't change. And this, yeah, I'm with you. We just played a really good game against the Eagles, right? We have a lot more football left to play. We're gonna play a lot of football, all right? I'm confident of that. Regardless of what happens next week, the week after, I'm not going to change how I am around you. I'm not going to change how I am around the players. I'm going to be the same guy. I'm going to demand. I'm going to be upbeat. I'm going to be consistent, right? Now, if I need to make changes and adapt and evolve like I've talked to you about, then I need to do that. I mean, that's our job, right? And that's what we've tried to do. And if we need to figure out how to put players into better situations to make plays and switch things up, then we need to do that. But like, all joking aside, it's not going to change how I act, how I walk around, how I talk, how I coach, and how I treat these players. Confidence and belief and consistency, I think, are really, really crucial in this whole thing, and that's not going to change with me. And I think that goes back, again, to my time as a head coach when I've seen both ends of this, that's the key. I mean, that's how our players have to react. And watch, I got confidence that our offense is going to go out, and this is no disrespect to the Giants, and we're going to score a lot of points. I mean, that's one of the best head coaches in all of the NFL and one of the best play callers, who I still hate going against in 2 minutes like we do today, because he's really hard to defend. And they're going to get going. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about what we did against the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense. So everything, we're going to be okay. But I'm not changing how I am, so you can't bring me down today. Or tomorrow.
So,
All right.
Since you mentioned your mom,
Okay.
you mentioned being a head coach twice. Does your family pay attention to some of the buzz stuff? Like, there was something this week that said that Jeff Hafley would be a great fit to be the next coach of the Giants. Are you aware of that kind of stuff? And
I'm
what
sure
do you
my
do
mom
with it?
is very aware. Right now, I'm locked in and focused on the New York Giants. So, but I'm sure my family back home is. I'm not. I'm focused on beating the Giants and doing the best that we can and answering your questions.
Jeff, this is more of a general question, not how you would play it, but, so you see some jumbo lineups, with the extra
Yeah.
offensive linemen, and you played it in base, and I think a lot of people play it in base, but what would be the alternative, like if you went to four-man front on something like that? What's the downside of doing that instead of just going with your base like maybe you did?
With the jumbo people?
Yeah.
Well, last week we put in 5 bigs, so that was kind of an adjustment that we made against the Eagles. So we put in Micah. So we had Micah really as the edge guy, and we brought in 4 bigs. So we had 5 bigs in the game. So there are pluses and minuses, right? So if you want to go with 4 down and they want to bring in an extra tackle, and you have a big enough and long enough Sam backer where you feel like we can set the edge and get him up on the line, right? Or bring, like you saw, Coop and McDuffie on the line. And then there's time, like they had some giants out there that we wanted a little bit more size and length, so we brought in a 5th and we put Mike on the edge because he's got more size and length, and Micah can play outside backer or defensive end or 3 technique or middle linebacker because we feel like he can do it all. So we went to that a little bit. It's just when you do that, your coverage variation shrinks a little bit, if that makes sense, because you have less linebackers doing their jobs. So there's pluses and minuses, if that answers your question.
2 more, please. You mentioned Micah. He might have gotten into it with a national radio host this week about his run defense.
About Micah's run defense?
Micah's run defense, yeah.
I mean-
look, your run defense is great. I'm sure he has a role in it, right?
Yeah, Micah Parsons, if you watch that tape against the run, and Saquon, who I think is the premier back in the league, I mean, I think Saquon had 60-something yards rushing, right? And Micah Parsons was in on almost all of those plays. Micah was setting edges as an end. Micah was setting edges as a 3 technique. Micah against the run was straining and playing as good run defense as I've seen. So if anybody wants to talk about Micah Parsons' run defense, I'd like to sit down and watch the tape with him, because the effect that he had on that game, one, in the run defense, and then two, I mean, we can talk about not getting sacks, but you guys saw the pressures that he put on the quarterback and how fast Jalen Hurts had to throw the ball, and in key situations had to break the pocket, run, and throw the ball away and stop the clock and give us a chance to get the ball back and win. I mean, Micah was outstanding in the game. Just turn the tape on. So I have not seen what the messages you're talking about, but I'd love to sit down and watch the run tape with whomever wants to on this game.
I don't know if you would.
What do you mean?
You might not want to sit down with.
Well, I don't know who it was, but maybe in the offseason we sit down, but not right now. Did you have another question?
No.
Does anybody have one more question?
I've heard that off-season promise before.
You never showed up, though. I asked Wallers to open it up, and he said none of you guys wanted to talk. So,
We were promised to sit down with the head coach, and then that never came through.
yeah, but we're talking about Wallers and what I said, so
Okay.
we need to talk to Wallers, okay, and have that conversation.
Don't go to Wallers, just go to.
No, that's not how it works here. You go to Wallers, and he does it, and then we can sit down and talk. In the off-season, we can sit down and talk, that's fine.
We asked him, got,
He said no? Okay, well then, that's above me. I can't do anything about that.
Oh, I think you could.
So, you guys, we're good?
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, you can ask a question, so I'm sorry.
No, just one follow-up on Micah. So I think it was at least twice, and maybe it was more than that, the Eagles were in like 3rd and 10 plus, and they just handed the ball off. It almost looked like a capitulation. So my question is that sort of a Micah Parsons effect?
You tell me. I mean,
that's what
seriously.
think, but I'm wondering.
It's third, how about this? It's 3rd and 11, and they're in field goal range, and they run the ball on 3rd and 10. Micah Parsons, now, Micah and the rest of our defense, give him credit. Because when teams are doing that and they're saying, okay, we're just going to hand the ball off here, I think that's a sign of respect. Yes to Micah and 2 to the rest of the defense. We've been getting more runs on 3rd down. I start to go into these games with these thoughts on 3rd down. As the games play out, I got to figure out when they're going to run the ball, because that's starting to happen a lot right now. And that is a credit to him. And not just his run defense, his pass defense too, and a credit to the defense.